Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Patriot Nation TV. I'm your host, Tim Davis, your new age patriot with the 1776 attitude. One man, one opinion, trying to make sense of it all and connecting the dots. It is Sunday, June 6th, 2021, and welcome to the Fauchi Files. This episode is going to be about the Fauchi Files. It's a continuation of a live show I did on Tuesday, June 2nd, with a guest, Faith Washington. It was a pretty good show. If you haven't seen it, tune into it. I'll post it up on my left-hand corner at the end of this video. Check it out. If you're new to the show, please hit like, hit subscribe, and so on and so on. So let's get to it. So much is being revealed regarding Fauci and his emails in the last 4 days since I did my last live show. And it's really disturbing. It's disturbing, folks, what's going on. So let's dive into it. Let's dive into Fauci's mask flip-flop and his flip-flopping and explaining it from a point of view of economics. That's what I'm going to try to do. And also, if all the allegations are proven true, should Fauci and his criminal cohorts be tried for treason? Should we see a Nuremberg trials 2.0 in 2021, being that they all violated the Nuremberg doctrine of 1947? Also, what did Fauci know? And when did he know it? The emails just coming out. There's thousands of them, and they're coming out. And it's really interesting. It's kind of disturbing, actually. So let's dive back into 2020, when the whole thing of COVID, the control, oppress, victimize, isolate, and divide came about. We've done many videos on that. So last summer, in an interview with CBS Evening News anchor Norah O'Donnell, Dr. Fauci said he had no regrets over advertising Americans against wearing masks in public spaces early in the pandemic, even though his recommendations changed months later. He said, "I don't regret anything. I said then because of the context of the time in which I said it. It was correct," said Fauci, the government's top infectious disease advisor. "We were told in our task force meetings that we have a serious problem with the lack of PPEs and masks for health providers who are putting themselves in harm's way every day to take care of sick people." Fauci was referring to comments he made in 60 Minutes in March of 2020. During that interview, Fauci said there is no reason to be walking around with masks, noting they should be used only for sick people as source of control. And we've seen it. Opening day, baseball, Washington Nationals, he's sitting there with no mask on. Meanwhile, everybody else is all panicky and yada, yada, yada. When you are in the middle of a pandemic and an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet. But it is not providing the perfect protection that people think it is, said Fauci. And often there are unintended consequences. People keep fondling with the mask, and they keep touching their faces. And this brings me to Fauci's about-face on masks was not without controversy, but it had some excuse given in context. A public health official lying to the public he is responsible for protecting, for whatever reason, he's a bureaucrat, is no small matter. But one could also see Fauci's explanation as a noble lie, designed to make sure the people who needed masks most would get them, healthcare workers. This brings me to the newly released emails Newly, newly, newly released emails, however, suggested that when Fauci said in March that there was no reason for healthy individuals to wear masks, it wasn't proven. It wasn't to prevent a mask shortage. It was because he believed it. Privately, Fauci also advised against it. Just this past week, in the Washington Post and BuzzFeed News released hundreds of pages of Fauci's emails, which were obtained through the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. The emails contain many revelations. Among them is an email reply Fauci sent to one Sylvia Burwell, presumably the same Sylvia Burwell who served under President Barack Obama as Secretary of Health and Human Service. Don't forget now, Fauci also said in 2017 that Trump will face a pandemic never seen before during his administration. What did he know, and when did he know it? Burwell, who was slated to travel, had asked Dr. Fauci for his advice on the use of face masks. Fauci's reply, dated February 5th, 2020, included in its entirety below. Masks are really for infected people to prevent them from spreading infection to people who are not infected, rather than protecting uninfected people from acquiring infections. The typical mask you buy in the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out viruses, which is small enough to pass through material. It might, however, provide some slight benefit and keep out gross droplets if someone coughs or sneezes on you. I do not recommend that you wear a mask, particularly since you are going to a very low-risk location. This email is important because it shows Fauci was saying privately in February 2020 precisely what he was saying publicly in March of 2020, which I knew also in April of 2020. The fact that Fauci was sharing this information privately with Burwell undermines his claim that his recommendations to not wear masks was motivated by fear of causing a mass purchasing stampede. Remember, everybody was buying toilet paper and paper towels, just like now the gas shortage. It was to prevent the crazy people from hoarding everything. In other words, there's every reason to believe that Fauci was simply sharing his genuine medical opinion, not scientific fact. It's just his opinion, my opinion, one man, one opinion, which corresponded with the scientific consensus of the World Health Organization at the time, that masks, particularly clothed ones purchased in retail stores, are ineffective at keeping the virus out and may cause riskier behavior by giving wearers a false sense of protection. And this is the model of public choice theory. The obvious question, of course, is what would prompt Fauci to change his medical opinion on masks? The answer can perhaps be found in basic economics. Public choice theory. What is public choice theory? It's a field pioneered by Nobel Prize-winning economist James Buchanan, applies economic theories and methods to the analysis of political behavior. As Buchanan saw it, public choice is politics without romance. It questions the widely accepted notion that those engaged in public service are motivated primarily by the common good. This is not to say Buchanan was suggesting that the public officials are uniquely different. On the contrary, public choice theory rests on the assumption political actors are pretty much like everyone else, and their decisions are shaped by self-interest and incentives. Jeffrey Brennan, a professor of philosophy at the University of North Carolina and a professor of political science at Duke University, notes there's a misguided tendency to see the public agents as benevolent despots instead of regular people. When you ask what should government do, you also imply that those in government are motivated to try to choose the very best policies for the public good, said Brennan in a 2020 discussion on public choice theory. When it comes to political agents, it's surely a mistake simply to assume that what motivates a person exclusively is their desire to do good. He continued, after all, the winning assumption in economics is that ordinary folks operating in the markets are motivated predominantly by self-interest. Why should we assume politicians and bureaucrats are motivated any differently than anyone else, both publicly and privately? And early in 2020, Fauci said masks were ineffective, unhelpful way for individuals to protect themselves from COVID-19. His public opinion on the matter changed, and it changed at a time when masks became bitterly divisive, as they were a century ago during the Spanish flu. Remember the Spanish flu in 1918? Masks became so politically polarizing that even top government officials could be hit with social media ban. President Trump, myself. Media ban for posting that masks were unhelpful. Indeed, this is precisely what happened to Dr. Scott Atlas, who at the time was a top member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force. In that environment, it wouldn't be a surprise if Fauci flip-flopped to fall in line for the sake of political careers. I must also say before I continue, once again, I've been put in Facebook jail just yesterday. I posted a screenshot of treason and what it is and the punishment. And I said, Dr. Fauci, if he's found guilty of it, should be charged with treason and should suffer the consequences of being hung. That's what the punishment is. So, anyway, it's for a different story. Yes, I'm in Facebook jail again, so I'm going to be doing a lot more videos for the next 30 days. So, moving forward, masks became so politically polarizing that even top government officials could be hit with a social media ban for posting that masks were unhelpful. President Donald Trump. Indeed, this is precisely what happened to Dr. Scott Atlas, who at the time was a top member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force. In that environment, it wouldn't be a surprise if Fauci flip-flopped to fall in line, just to follow orders, just to go along, for the sake of his political career, the highest paid government official in the United States of America. He just fell in line for the sake of his political career. To be clear, we don't know for certain what motivated Fauci's decisions. It's certainly possible he became convinced or convinced himself that masks were necessary because the spread was a greater risk than he previously believed. Though research spread cases are rare and are unlikely to contribute to the spread of the virus in a meaningful way. What we do know is that public choice theory can help us better understand what motivates besides public health may have helped Fauci change his mind, concisely or subconsciously. It shows how political incentives can often be at odds, not only with public good, but with truth itself. And so this brings me to what did Fauci know? When did he know it? Me, one man, one opinion. I discussed this quite a few times in previous videos when I was new to this YouTube channel. You can check them out. Like I said, I'll post the one I did 4 days ago, a live show I did, and hopefully Faith Washington will appear again. We can discuss this even further and other things, other topics. Great panelist, very knowledgeable. And so that's my little rant. So you got to ask yourself, what did Fauci know and when did he know it? Also, a lot of the emails are showing that Fauci knew that it was developed in a lab. He also knew that he took taxpayers' money and funded it under the guise of public health. And so on and so on. So I guess that's my little rant for tonight. It is June 2nd, 2021. I did a video earlier giving tribute to the greatest generation, the men and women that served in 1944 in the invasion of D-Day and Normandy. Maybe I'll post that in my right-hand corner. I don't know. I'll post a couple. Maybe I'll post 4 videos. So I'm going to tune out, guys. I hope you liked the video. I got to say, if you're new to the show, please, again, hit like, hit subscribe, share, leave a comment. Stay tuned for episode 2, the continuation of Operation Mockingbird. I'm doing a 3-part series. And I guess good night, everybody. Hope you had a safe, healthy weekend. Tomorrow will be Monday morning. We all got to go to work tomorrow. And I guess that's it. So I'm Tim Davis, a.k.a. Professor Rex from Patriot Nation TV, signing out. Salute everybody. God bless. God bless you. God bless America. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.